Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel and to this little doozy. We're back and we're doing the one that I talked about last time, which is a really odd one for me to do, which is, now this may be a long one guys, because list musicals or music related movies you want in your ultimate collection. Now I didn't list in my ultimate collection because if you know me, you know I don't collect very much anymore. I used to a lot, but now I don't have the space. The place is full of my kids' stuff. When he grows up and leaves him, quite possibly I will commence collecting again when I have more cash to collect also. But this is just my favourites. But I've had to do two lists and I'll explain why. Because to me, musicals and music related movies are two very different things. So music related movies are movies that are about music or have music in but aren't necessarily musicals. I'll give you an example. A Star is Born is on some lists as musical or another list as music related film. For me personally, that's a music related film because they're not singing the script at each other. I struggle in this subject because I'm not a musicals fan. Some musicals I love, but that's rare. So I've tried really hard. I've ended up with some animation. I'm going to get my comfort cushion. I like to have a cushion on my knee. Don't ask me why. I put things on it. So I'll go down the musicals with you first. And some of these I've had to resort to cartoons because I'm not a musicals fan mostly. So these are also not in order. Well, number one is no. Oh, I forgot one. I can't believe I forgot that. Right, I forgot Cyrano. Jesus wept. Cyrano with Peter Dinklage as Cyrano de Bergerac is quite simply one of my favourite films of the last few years, and I forgot about it. And this happens to me all the time, guys. I always forget things. I adore... Now, I'm not a fan of the Gerard Depardieu movie, and that's nothing to do with him being a prat in real life. I just never really warmed to that story. I really like Roxanne with Steve Martin, which is a comedy retelling of the same story. I think that's fabulous. Del Boy, I apologize, I have a sore throat. Del Boy recently did a deep dive on Roxanne on his channel, which I watched, which I really enjoyed. But Cyrano with Peter Dinklage is a musical, and his depiction of Cyrano was just, I fell in love with him. The character, I can fall in love with character. I don't mean that, well, I love Peter Dinklage, don't get me wrong, but the character of Cyrano, I fell in love with Tyrion Lannister too, so maybe it's Peter Dinklage, I don't know. But Cyrano, I forgot. Please, that would have come in at number 2 on this list had I remembered it. Okay, so at number 10 I've got Fame because it's cheesy, it's 80s. I grew up loving singing and dancing. I'm a big fan of dance. It just speaks to me. I love to watch people dance. I just love the joy in dance. So Fame, cheesy as it is, leg warmers and all, is my number 10. I had to break there. The doggies are back from their walk, so if you hear any weird noises or see any snouts, the doggies are here. Also, if you hear an underlying shouting, my son is upstairs playing Fortnite. The joys, huh? So at number 9, I've got 3. Because they're all animations. I've got Coco, Nightmare Before Christmas, and Willy Wonka. Strictly speaking, they all are musicals. I adore all 3. I think they're fabulous. Willy Wonka is one of my favourite. The original, clearly, Gene Wilder. Number 8, I have Sweeney Todd. Obviously, it's a horror musical. I think there's scenes in this when the bodies fall down. He's got a little trap door behind. I'm sure everyone knows who Sweeney Todd is. I don't need to. The demon barber of Fleet Street that killed people and supposedly baked them in pies. There's a little trapdoor behind the barber's chair, and the way the bodies fall down and fall is just, it's one of the best falls I've ever, it's horrible. It's like, how did they make that so realistic? It's quite gross, but obviously it's a musical. It's very gothic. I'm a big fan of when things look gothic. Obviously Johnny Depp, it's always him and what's her face with the 3, but Helena Bonham Carter. So yeah, Sweeney Todd I do really enjoy. Number 7, I'm having it. Muppets Christmas Carol. There's songs in it, they sing at each other. I'm saying it's a musical. It's my favourite Christmas film of all time. I watch it every Christmas day. Not Christmas Eve as I probably should, But Muppets Christmas Carol is our present opening movie that I watch when we open our presents. I love it. It goes on the minute we get out of bed on Christmas. At number 6 I have Mary Poppins. I grew up with this because it's one of my dad's favourite films. I don't know why. I think he quite possibly fancies, is it Julie Andrews that plays Mary Poppins? I know all the songs inside out because we were taught them at primary school, along with all the songs from A Sound of Music, so I know those, but I've never seen The Sound of Music. It just doesn't appeal. But I know all the songs to Mary Poppins and to that, so Mary Poppins, for nostalgia's sake, is going in at number 6. Number 5 is La La Land. I'm having that's a musical. I love this movie. I think it's fabulous. I think Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling are perfect in this. It's just, I don't really go in for romantic movies. I just don't, but this one I really enjoy. I like where it went. It feels realistic to me. I love the whole air of romance and their story in this, so La La Land is my number 5. Number 4 is Rocky Horror. It's probably one of the most famous musicals. I have been to see the stage musical of this. It's a lot of fun. We all dressed up with work. We went to see it. Yeah, who doesn't like Rocky Horror? I'm a fan, so that's my number 4. My number 3 is, I really struggled with 1, 2 and 3 here. Well, Cyrano would have been in the mix as well had I remembered it, but these top 3, I adore these movies. So number 3, I've chosen Hedwig and the Angry Inch, which I was so impressed that is the one that the book chose, because it's such an under-worshipped and under-known musical, and I love it. The reason I become aware of it is because Michael C. Hall at one stage played Hedwig in the stage musical. Hedwig is very difficult to explain, this movie. So Hedwig was a German immigrant who underwent sex reassignment surgery that went wrong, and she was left with an angry inch. That's all I can say. So I think that the band that she's in is called Hedwig and the Angry Inch. It's very punky. It's got a really kick-ass punk rock soundtrack. She's like in front of a band. She has undergone persecution her entire life. What happened to put her in the position she's in, what goes on to happen in her future, but it's a kick-arse, just balls out, that's maybe the wrong expression. It's a real kick-arse movie with fantastic soundtrack. I really love it. It really spoke to me when I watched it.
My 16's operation got botched. My guardian angel fell asleep on the watch. Now all I've got is a Bobby doll tracks. I've got an angry inch. 6 inches forward, 5 inches back. I got an angry inch. 6 inches forward, 5 inches back. I got an angry inch.
So number 2 is what for many years I would tell people was my favourite musical, is Phantom of the Opera. Now weirdly it's the Michael Crawford one. The music, the soundtrack to this is just stunning. I love it. The Music of the Night is one of my all-time favourite songs. I just love Phantom of the Opera. I love the story. I love the songs. It's just tick, my cup of tea. Phantom of the Opera is my number 2. And my number 1 is one that found itself there very recently, actually, in the last couple of years, and this is thanks to Jonathan, man of movies from the Cinema Squad, and this is called In the Heights. I went to the cinema to see this, and it was my favourite movie of that year. I think it was 2021, and it's fabulous. It's a movie about the residents, I believe it was Washington Heights in America, and the whole, you know, there's singing the whole way through, and that's generally not my cup of tea, guys. Loads of singing. I wept, I ugly cried at this. I think there was one couple, there was a male couple in with me, that was it, cinema was empty. And there's a specific song in this, I think it's called Abuela. Oh my god, fucking hell, the tears were tripping me in this song. It's so beautiful, it's so heartfelt, you get to know the characters so well. I absolutely adore it. Will that same passion translate on your TV? I'm not sure, but I'm so glad that I went to see this in the cinema. I'm so glad that Jonathan recommended it to me, because it's a film 100% I would not have gone to see, because I'm not a big musicals fan. but he says, oh no, really go see it, and I did because I trusted Cinema Squad implicitly. And he was so right. So In the Heights is my #1 musical of all time, guys. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do a separate video and put them up separate with my music related movies, because it will go on for way too long. So yeah, thank you for listening to my favourite musicals. Let me know yours below. Feel free to do a video if you so want. I'll be really interested to hear what you think. I'd be interested to hear how many of you have seen Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Do you like it? It's one that I always try and like get people to watch because I just don't hear enough about it. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Tune in very soon for my favourite 10 music related movies, not musicals. So I look forward to speaking to you next time. Over and out from Lisa Lives.